Hey guys, welcome back to the Big Intentions podcast. I'm your host, Iralyn, and today's episode is going to be super fun. It's going to be the start of a new series on my show, the Glow Up series. And so we're going to go all into mind, body, and soul. And today's episode, as you can see by the title, is all about the mind. So this is super exciting. This is something I've been thinking about recently. I realized the other day, like, I'm going to be 25 in 6 months. And that was like, holy crap. Like, how am I already 25? Like that, I'm not going to be able to say I'm in my early 20s. I'm going to be like mid 20s. So that's weird. But obviously grateful and super excited for 25, and it'll be my golden year. And this is literally 6 months away, but me just being like always in the future, I was just thinking of this the other day and I was like, oh my gosh, 25 on the 25th. So that's exciting. January 25th is my birthday. But anyways, super exciting things, but also like, how am I 25? Like that literally doesn't make sense. So anyways, I basically came to that revelation the other day, and then I was like, okay, so there are definitely some areas in my life that I've like neglected or just kind of ignored, put to the side. Like I prioritize other things, which is fine. Like you can't always do all of it and be the best at everything. So, I was kind of like realizing there's just some areas that I was like, you know what, I need to put some more attention and focus into those areas, especially before 25, and just really, put my best foot forward in those areas and see what can happen in 6 months, because literally so much can happen in 6 months if you're consistent, if you're, being intentional in these things. Like it's crazy what can happen. And so anyways, I'm just like, oh my gosh, 25, that's so exciting. But that's basically what inspired the whole series. So, we're going to be talking about the mind today, which I'm excited for. So just a couple housekeeping things. If you're watching this on YouTube, please subscribe to my channel, like this video, comment, something. Just engage with me. I want feedback. I want to hear from you guys. And then if you're listening to this on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, you can leave a 5-star rating, and that just helps get the podcast spread the word and other people can hear it and glow up as well, So I'm excited for the Glow Up series. You guys will have to tell me what you end up doing, what areas you pick to glow up in, because I think it's like super exciting, and it doesn't have to be crazy or, it doesn't even have to have an end result in mind. It can just be like putting effort towards an area and seeing what happens. So that's what's exciting about it. And I just really didn't want my birthday to be something that is like, oh my gosh, I'm 25 and I haven't done these things. Like at least I'm putting my effort and attention into striving for these things and becoming the highest version of myself. And yeah, I want to be proud of myself when I'm 25. And I'm proud of myself now, but there are just some things I'm like, yeah, okay, why am I not doing those? I just need to do them. Whatever. So that is kind of like the whole rundown on the Glow Up series, but I'm super excited for it. I think it'll be super fun. And basically, let's just jump into living out loud. That was kind of my revelation last week. I went to the movies and I've been consuming content. It's been a good little content summer vibe. Also, I've been utilizing Google Calendar so much lately, and it's literally changing my life. So shout out to Google Calendar. But let's just jump into the content recs. So some of my recommendations for shows, one, Summer I Turned Pretty season 2 is out. I've made it through like 2.5 episodes. I just started the third one, so we're still working on it. It's pretty good. It's like a good chill watch. The music and it's really good too, so you can kind of throw it on in the background. Honestly, I read the books last summer, and so I really don't have to pay super close attention. And also it's not like that compelling of a show that you really need to pay attention. It's just kind of like the vibe. It's a summer vibe, so I want it on in the background. And then also another really good show, so that's on Amazon Prime, but if you have Apple TV, you guys have to watch Shrinking. It is so good. It has Harrison Ford in it. The other guy, I can't remember, Jason something Segel maybe. He's like he's one of the guys in How I Met Your Mother, the one that dates Lily. I don't even know his name in that show. but whatever. Anyways, he is in it and he's like the main character. And basically it's these therapists, and that like hence the name Shrinking. And it's their lives kind of all intertwined and how they like come together and they're like there for each other, their community. But it's like pretty light. It's not as deep as you would think for like a therapist based on therapists, but it's funny and I've really been enjoying that show. So there's one season out. I think it just came out this year. So you guys should check that out. I went and watched The Sound of Freedom, which has, oh my gosh, it's kind of deep and everything. But anyways, you guys should check it out. I highly recommend it. I won't really get into the whole spiel on it, but you guys should go see it. It's in theaters right now. And if you want, you can like look up how to get free tickets because they're doing a pay it forward program, so you can get free tickets to it probably. So that's all in terms of shows. And then I'm I was listening to the podcast with Nick Bear, who like my brother's been like interested, like he's whoops, not Spencer texting me in the middle of my podcast recording. I thought I was on D&D. Anyways, so basically, the Nick Bear, so my brother's like obsessed with this or whatever, or used to be into it. This guy, he has a podcast. I think he's like, has a supplement brand or something. Anyways, he had a podcast with Chris Williamson, and it was just a really compelling podcast. And I just loved the whole topic on curiosity, and I'll link it below because I think you guys should listen, and it was a really good listen. But let's move on into the next segment, which is intentional living. So my intention for last week checking in was to get back to my routines, and I definitely feel way more grounded being in my routines, journaling, just like having a set morning schedule. It just feels right and good with the world when I'm like on my stuff, you know what I mean? So that was good, and I'm going to continue doing that, so I'm vibing with that. And so my intention for this week is just to document my life more and take more pictures, because I just, these are the hottest years of my life, and I really need to document them well so I can show my kids like how cool I was, how fun I was, how hot I was, you know what I mean? And I just need documentation of that. I need the proof. So take more pictures, and I don't have to do anything with them. I just want to take the pictures. So that's the vibe. And moving on into words to live by, we're kind of just like jumping into this. I don't know how long this podcast episode will be, but we'll see. So the quote this week is from We the Urban, which is an Instagram account, and they always post like good hard-hitting truths on their Instagram. So this quote is, you are never too old to start again. You are never too old to follow your dreams. You are never too old to switch directions. You are never too old to learn something new. So this kind of fit in with like my whole like birthday realization thing, but really just want to encourage you all that you are never too old to start over, to pursue new hobbies, new dreams, new avenues in your life. Like, you're never too old for it. And if anybody says that, like, loser, no, like that is not the vibe. Like, we are always striving to be the best versions of ourselves, and so you can't remain stagnant, and you have to keep moving forward and just learn to be curious with your life and just love learning and becoming, like a new version of yourself every day and a better version of yourself than before. But just want to encourage you to, don't let your dreams die. Don't let anybody tell you that you can't, pursue something new because of how old you are, because that's so not true. So anyways, let's just jump into the Glow Up series, which kind of like leads into, the Glow Up series can be trying new things and just enhancing your quality of life. And this is going to be a full glow up guide, that's kind of a mouthful, to the mind, body, and soul. And all areas of life will be addressed throughout this series. And I want to talk about glowing up, not because of, you're like dissatisfied with where you're at. Like, it could be that, but it could also just realizing that you're not living up to your full potential and wanting to become the best version of yourself. So imagining like what would the highest version of myself do, and okay, they're doing that, then I'm going to do that now. And it's kind of like the same idea as you've probably heard of this, dress for the job you want, not for the job that you have. And so I recently heard this on a podcast and it really resonated with me. And like, for example, like working from home, okay, like I don't have to dress up every day, but like, I mean, I'm literally recording this in a sweatshirt because it's cozy right now. But, dress for the job that you want. Basically, live the life that you want. You don't have to already have it, but if you're striving for it and aspiring to something, eventually it's going to become true. It's going to be who you are. If you're consistently living this way, then like that's what you become. So just want to encourage you all to apply that statement, like dress for the job you want, not for the job you have, to just all aspects of your life. And really throughout the Glow Up series, that's what we're like kind of keeping in mind. That's kind of at the back of our mind the whole time. So, not only am I trying to like dress the way that my highest self would want to, but really just applying that to all areas of life. Honestly, I feel like I sometimes am denying myself of life's pleasures and great things by being like so mundane. Like, not that routine creates like a mundane lifestyle or anything, but sometimes I just feel like I fall into this trap of like not being as extravagant and as elaborate as I really want to be, because that's really who I am. And I feel like I'm kind of an out there person and I just want to embody that more. And that's really what I want to like take as my focus through the Glow Up series. So my life can be as exciting as I want it to be, and I'm tired of like wanting things to be different. And if I want things to be different, then I have to make the change. And so the only time that you get a different output is if you put in a different input. And so I want to be fully in control of what I'm inputting, despite the output or what happens during the process. I am fully controlling the experiment. And so the idea that life is an experiment and it's something that I can establish my own hypothesis. I can change my hypothesis. I can scrap it. I can redo my whole experiment. I can change the inputs and just see what the life experiment spits back out at me, and just document what happened when I inputted these certain changes, and then adjust accordingly and move on, and keep running the experiment, keep tweaking it, keep making it the best version, the best experiment, the best outputs that I can get out of it, the best results. And so I kind of like that picture of life being an experiment and just trying to change things along the way to get your desired output. So let's start, this Glow Up series. Let's start it with the mind, because to glow up, you have to glow from within, and it all starts with an internal glow, and that will just radiate out of you and spill into other areas of your life. So we're starting with the most essential tool that we have, which is our mind. So how to glow up your mind. Your mind can either make or break you. And in order to glow up, we want to come at it from a positive place and to grow into the highest version of ourselves. And this Glow Up series is not to negate where you're at now or to, discredit how far you've come, but it's really to truly become the best version of yourself. And this is your starting point. So don't be afraid to start over. Don't be afraid to tweak and adjust things. Don't be afraid to fail. The Glow Up is just seeing what I'm inputting and how that changes the output. So that's kind of the basis of the Glow Up series, and just becoming the best version of yourself. That's what we're always trying to do here on the Big Intentions podcast. So without further ado, I'm going to talk about some different ways to mentally glow up, how to glow up your mind. And so the first way to start the Glow Up series will be with stop waiting for something to happen and making it happen. So the idea that something will just fall into your lap, or if you just dream about something and you're just always longing for something that eventually it just becomes a reality out of thin air, like that's really not the case. We want to really put in our effort and not be afraid to fail. because whatever the reason is, don't let yourself be the one holding you back. You'll have obstacles along the way and things that will pop up, but if you want to be in control and you want to glow up, then you have to be the one that makes something happen. You have to be the one that's putting in the effort, and you have to, get rid of the mindset that you're going to fail or that it's too late to start. You actually have to make something happen. So that's the first way to glow up. If you want to glow up mentally, you have to stop postponing your dreams, your goals, and stop postponing becoming the highest version of yourself and really lean into that. And you could start by just writing down the main focus areas of your life and ways that you want to improve upon these areas. So you can take, the mind or body or soul or career or family, relationships, social life. Take whatever area that you're wanting to glow up in, and you don't have to overwhelm yourself. You could just focus on like one area at a time. And basically, why do you want to glow up? Like, what's your intention? Is this just the way that your highest version of yourself lives their life? Why do you want to glow up? It really has to come from a place of intentionality for something to stick. If it's just to be like everybody else or to fit in or whatever like outside pressures you're feeling, you just have to kind of erase those things and really look at it as an internal thing. Like, why do I want to glow up? What's this going to do for me? If you want to glow up your fitness goals, is it to impress other people, or is it to have like a healthy, active lifestyle that makes you feel good, that makes you feel more confident because you're continually making progress and putting in the work and keeping promises that you make yourself and building your self-confidence? There has to be the intention behind something for it to actually stick and to become a sustainable piece of your life. And so, that's really the first way to glow up. Like I said, stop waiting for something to happen. You have to make it happen. And habits are a really good way to kind of like implement these things in your life, because some of these glow up things might be something like habits or systems that you're implementing in your life rather than like one-off things. It's like maintenance. You gotta like maintain the glow. So, you don't just like get the tan and then it fades. You have to like continue to put in the work to maintain the glow. You know what I'm saying? So the next way to glow up mentally is through journaling. And this has been really key for my mental glow up, because journaling just really can transform you. Honestly, it's so effective. And the way that I like to journal is brain dumping. So I do morning pages. I just put all my thoughts, feelings, anxieties, whatever pops up in my head, it goes right onto the paper. And this really allows me to not get distracted in my life, because I've already, at the beginning of my day, I've already put all of that stuff out into the universe. I've already dumped it out of my brain, and my brain is now like, okay, we're ready for the day. I don't have any distractions going on. I mean, of course I get distracted and things like that, but like, those things that you've been thinking about all night that kept you up at night, you're not letting it bleed into your day. You're just dumping it out. And even throughout the day, if you have to, something keeps popping up in your head. If you're overthinking, get it out on paper, write it down. Don't be afraid to just take out the pen and paper and just like put it on there. You know what I mean? It's really therapeutic to just start with a clean slate and work out what you need to, because sometimes you just maybe have an idea even and you just need to get it out of your head and onto paper so it becomes real. Some things just have to be like made physical to get it off your chest, to lift the weight. And I think it really allows me to focus better whenever I don't have all these things that I'm like worried about. Even like if you write down like, okay, I'm going to do this, this, and this today, or like, oh, don't forget, take out the trash. Like writing it down, one, helps you like remember it more, but also if you're worried about stuff, like just getting it on paper. I mean, I just can't explain it any better, but like just try it because it's so helpful, and I really recommend journaling. So if you don't have a journal, go get a journal, just literally a spiral notebook. I mean, you could do even like notes on your phone, but I think there's something like there's an art to like physically writing with pen and paper. So that is like my favorite thing to do in the mornings. Establishing routines is a really great way to glow up your mind, glow up mentally, because you're setting up structures. And I heard this the other day about creativity, but like, you can thrive and be more creative when you know the rules so that you can break the rules. So with routines, it's really important for me to have a routine because it allows me to dedicate my focus to something for a set amount of time and to really just be in that moment doing that thing. And I'm not distracted by all the other things that I have to do. I'm really just focused on that task at hand, and I can put more of my attention and creativity into these certain things that I'm doing. And I think that a routine really has allowed me to flourish and to just actually like complete things and get things done and spending time on it. And like I mentioned earlier, I've really been utilizing the Google Calendar and just like color coding, like, oh, okay, for this category of my life, these are all the times I want to spend on it. Scheduling out things in my calendar has really helped me to stay on track and to stay organized. And I just love a routine now, which I didn't always used to love routines, and which I have a whole podcast episode on routines. So I can link it in the show notes below, and you guys can go listen to that, because I think it's helpful to kind of know how to structure routines and implement habits into your life. So, an example of a morning routine that I've established and that really works for me because it helps me to set up my day for success. And it's been really instrumental to structuring my day and just starting it off on a good note. So it's like I wake up, I get out of bed, I try to make my bed right then. And then I go get my morning pages journal, brain dump 3 pages worth of stuff. And then I do a meditation I really just read the passage from The Journey to the Heart, the one I mentioned. That's the quote from last week that I had from that book. And so I take that, I read through that passage, kind of think about it for a minute. And then I go into like my Bible, like devotional time. And so what I've just been doing lately is just like, I pick a chapter, I read it, and then I look up the commentary online and like take notes on it. And it's just been really helpful for me to do those things, like my daily non-negotiables. If you establish a routine around doing those things, it just helps you to like ensure that you're going to stick to that and get it done. And you're setting aside a time and a space that is like specifically for that thing. So I highly encourage a routine, especially a morning routine, because it really just allows you to like settle into the day and start it off on the right foot. So whatever is calming to you and can really allow you to structure yourself or like set yourself up for success, that's really important to like do those things as soon as you wake up. And so that's kind of like my morning routine. And then at night, I'll make like my night routine. I have my red lights that come on in my room at a certain time. I have my sleepy time tea. I like to get into bed and I have my book and I'm like reading for a little bit, like until I fall asleep. And so just having things that relax you and can calm you are really good ways to start and end your day. And I think that is really good for the mind, just to settle it. And glowing up your mind, you have to go back to the basics and do the things that will set you up for success, and then you can expand upon those things later on. But so those are my top 3. So now another one, which I haven't actually done, but I think it would be really beneficial for me, is a social media detox. I really need to just pick one day out of the week and be like, no social media. Like, it just doesn't need to be a part of my life. It really does suck your energy and drain your social battery, just drains everything out of me sometimes. And it's like, for what? I'm really not gaining that much value by being on social media. So unless I need to post something on there, like, I really don't need to be consuming it all the time. And so I think just having one day out of the week where I'm not consuming other people's lives, I'm just living my own life, I think that would be helpful for me. So I just need to pick a day and just like schedule other things. I could probably read so much more if I didn't get on social media. And so I just really kind of want to like do that and see how I feel. And I'll update you guys if I do a detox this week. But I think that would be really helpful for me. And okay, just some other little things that I think really could like help you glow up your mind would be listening to music like while you cook. Really just like unplugging sometimes and not being so go, go, go and like hustle bustle. I think it's good just to try to relax your mind and find things that relax you and just implementing them. Like, I'm always consuming content. I always have a podcast in my ear. Like, there's really rarely time when I'm just like sitting in silence. Like if I'm reading, but I feel like I'm still consuming content. So I think a good way to like glow up my mind would just to be okay, like you can chill out. Like while I cook dinner, I don't have to be watching a podcast or listening to a podcast, watching a YouTube video, watching TV. I could just be listening to music or I could just be chilling. Like it doesn't have to be like always a consumption mindset. It could be like a relaxation time because I feel like I'm rarely relaxed. Another thing, so basically, just anything that you can find that relaxes you, implement it into your day somehow. And then just if you are going to consume content, I think a good thing for my mental is I've been following people that are more inspirational, like I'm gaining information from them, or I'm not looking at it as like, oh, I wish I had that life, or I wish that was me. It's more so like, oh, like these are action steps on how to achieve this thing, or it's more informational. It's not so much like aspirational, I guess. I think it's good to find some people that like you're inspired by, but like consuming that all the time can sometimes like set you back. So you just have to know yourself and know what works for you. But those are just some of the ways that I found are beneficial for me. And those are ways that I've glowed up in the past and mentally. And so I just think implementing these things into your life are really great ways to glow up, and they leave you better. Find things that fuel you and leave you better after you do them. They make you feel better about yourself. Find those things and use them, implement them into your routine to glow up, and do things that make you, uncomfortable, but make you better and improve your quality of life at the end of the day. Do those things and you'll definitely glow up. So, just got another text. Anyways, so that's really all I have for you guys in the first part of the Glow Up series, The Mind. And if you guys have any other ideas on how to glow up specifically for your mind, let me know below. But just know that if you glow from within, that'll spill out into the rest of your life. And I really hope you guys liked today's episode. If you did, please comment below, leave a rating, all the things. You can find me on Instagram at Iralyn12. And if you want to stay more up to date in real life, you can follow me over there. That's all I have for you guys today. So I love you guys and thanks so much for watching. Bye.